There comes a moment in almost every broken heart when the silence feels louder than the love ever did. When you check your phone one more time, hoping for a message that doesn't come. When your mind replays conversations like a favorite song stuck on a loop. You know they're not coming back. You know it's time to let go. And yet, your heart keeps holding on. If you're here, listening, it's probably because you're tired of drowning in what-ifs, tired of feeling like you're not enough without them. This isn't about forgetting them. This is about finding your way back to you. And that begins with shifting the way you see the situation. It's not easy, but it's possible. And you're stronger than you think. Let's start with one of the most powerful truths. The more you cling, the more you sink. You may think holding on shows how deeply you care. You may believe that if you just love harder, wait longer, prove yourself better, they'll finally realize your worth. But let's be honest, how has that worked for you so far? Obsession doesn't deepen connection. It only deepens your pain. Clinging is not love. It's fear. Fear of abandonment, of rejection, of facing yourself without them. The truth is, no one was ever meant to carry the weight of your entire emotional world. When you place your happiness solely in someone else's hands, you're building a house on shifting sand. And when they walk away, everything collapses. Think of it like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. The more you text, check their stories, reread old messages, the more you're feeding the illusion that they're the only source of your peace. But your peace was never meant to live in someone else. It's meant to grow from within. I once spoke with a woman in her mid-30s, recently divorced, who said she couldn't stop checking her ex's social media, even when she knew it made her feel worse every time. I just needed to feel close to him, she said. But what she really needed was to feel close to herself again. It took time. But the moment she deleted the app and started journaling her own emotions instead of chasing his, everything began to shift. Detaching doesn't mean you're cold. It doesn't mean you never loved them. It means you're finally choosing to protect your own energy. It means recognizing that obsessing over someone who's not choosing you is another way of abandoning yourself. That's not love. It's self-neglect dressed up as devotion. So the next time you feel the urge to cling, to reach out, to spiral, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this helping me heal or is this keeping me stuck? The answer may hurt at first, but it will set you free. And freedom always begins with honesty. Part 2. You're not losing them. You're finding you. Now that we've recognized how clinging pulls us deeper into pain, it's time to take a gentler look at the other side of detachment, the rediscovery of self. We've all been taught to see breakups, rejections, and emotional distance as loss, as if someone walked away and took a part of us with them. And yes, it hurts. It's okay to admit that, but what if I told you that what feels like loss is often just life's way of guiding you back to yourself? What if letting them go is not the end of the story, but the beginning of your return? You're not losing them. You're finding you. For so long, your identity might have been tangled up in how they saw you, how they responded to you, how they loved or left you. But the beautiful thing is, your identity was never theirs to define. It was always yours. You just forgot. Think about the space they once occupied in your mind and heart. That space is still there. But now, you get to choose what fills it. Maybe it's your creativity, your peace, your goals. Maybe it's the quiet joy of waking up without anxiety. Reclaiming yourself after a relationship is like moving back into a house you once rented out. You look around and think, wow, this place is mine? Yes, it is. And you get to renovate it, redecorate it, make it beautiful again on your terms. I remember a man in his early 40s, recently out of a long-term relationship. He told me, I don't even know what kind of music I like anymore. Everything I listened to was hers. It sounds small, but it was a breakthrough. Because healing doesn't always start with a grand gesture. Sometimes it starts by creating a playlist that's 100% yours. By cooking for yourself the way you'd cook for someone you loved. By walking into a room and not shrinking. These little acts of self-return are not selfish. They are sacred. Sometimes the reason we can't let go is because we've forgotten what it feels like to stand in our own presence without needing validation. We forget we existed before them, and we will continue to exist beautifully after. You were someone before they arrived, and you'll be someone after they're gone. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be even more whole because you've chosen to meet yourself again. This mindset shift is about reclaiming your energy, about realizing that your wholeness was never dependent on their presence, that even in heartbreak, you still belong fully to yourself. Detachment isn't just about walking away from them, it's about walking back to you. And every time you choose to stay present with your pain instead of running from it, every time you choose self-respect over chasing approval, you're not losing anything. You're gaining everything that matters. So as we continue, take this truth with you. The journey of letting go is not a retreat. It's a return. And what you'll find at the end of that return is not just peace, but power. Part 3. Your feelings are real, but they're not permanent. Now that you've begun walking back to yourself, there's something important you need to know, something that will carry you through the hardest nights and loneliest mornings. Your feelings, as overwhelming as they may seem right now, are not forever. They are real, they matter, but they will not last. When you're in the middle of heartache, it feels like it will never end. Like this emptiness is your new normal. Like joy is a language you've forgotten how to speak. But here's the truth. Feelings are like weather. They pass through. They come in waves. Some days are cloudy. Some nights pour down rain. But no storm lasts forever, and neither will this one. You are not broken because you still cry at night. You are not weak because a memory sends you spiraling. Emotions are not evidence that you're failing to move on. They're proof that you're human. But emotions are also not facts. Just because you feel unlovable doesn't mean you are. Just because you miss them doesn't mean they're right for you. Just because you're hurting now doesn't mean you'll always be hurting. This is where the shift happens, when you stop judging your feelings and start honoring them. When you stop running and simply let them exist. The more you resist, the more they persist. But the more you sit with them, the more they soften. I once met a woman in her late 20s who had just come out of a toxic relationship. She told me, I know he wasn't good for me, but my body still misses him. That sentence stayed with me because healing isn't about pretending you don't feel the pull. It's about sitting with the ache and not answering its call. She started journaling what she felt every day without trying to fix it. Just name it. And eventually the storm began to soften. Sometimes all your emotions need is to be witnessed without judgment, to be held instead of silenced. Think of your feelings like waves in the ocean. Some are small ripples, others crash down with force, but none of them last forever. You don't stop the ocean by fighting the waves. You learn to float. When you allow emotions to move through you instead of controlling you, you begin to create space. Space for clarity, for perspective, for healing. You might not wake up tomorrow and feel better, but one day, without even realizing it, you'll notice that the thought of them doesn't sting like it used to, that your body breathes easier, that laughter returns without guilt. So if today your heart feels heavy, don't panic. Sit with it. Place your hand on your chest. Say to yourself, "This hurts, but it won't last." And then breathe. Every storm ends. Every winter melts. You don't need to rush your healing. You just need to trust it. The waves of emotion will come, but they will also go. And you, my friend, will still be standing when they do. As we move forward, carry this truth in your back pocket. Your feelings are valid, but they're not permanent. And the more you allow them to rise and fall without resistance, the more space you'll make for peace to rise in their place. Part 4. You don't need closure from them. You can give it to yourself. By now, you've started to recognize your own strength, how you can feel deeply without being destroyed by your feelings. But there's one more illusion that keeps so many people stuck. The idea that you need closure from them in order to move on. That unless they give you a final conversation, a sincere apology, or a neat explanation, you'll never truly heal. It's a belief rooted in hope, but also in helplessness. The truth is, closure is not something someone else grants you. It's something you choose to give yourself. We all want answers. We all want to know why they stopped loving us, why they left without a proper goodbye, why they changed so quickly. But chasing those answers often leads to more confusion, not clarity. The person who hurt you may not have the awareness, courage, or honesty to tell you the truth. And even if they did, would it change the outcome? Would it suddenly take away your pain? In most cases, no. In fact, waiting for closure from someone who's already emotionally gone is like waiting at a door that no longer opens. I remember a young woman who waited over a year for her ex to finally explain what went wrong. She said, "I just need him to say it wasn't all my fault." But what she really needed wasn't his words. It was her own forgiveness. She needed to forgive herself for staying too long, for loving too much, for ignoring the signs. And the moment she gave herself that permission, the weight began to lift. Sometimes closure isn't a conversation, it's a decision. A line you draw in the sand, a letter you write but never send, a moment of truth with yourself that says, "I deserve better," even if they never say sorry. You can close the chapter without their approval. You can make peace without their permission. Closure doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means choosing not to carry it anymore. It means saying, "This mattered, it changed me, and now I'm choosing to walk forward." So if you've been waiting for them to come back and make things right, maybe this is your moment to make it right for yourself, to stop rehearsing the same questions, to stop hoping they'll finally see your worth. Because your worth has never depended on their ability to recognize it, and your healing does not require their participation. The door may never close from their side, but you have hands. You can close it yourself, And when you do, you'll finally feel what real peace feels like. Not silence from them, but peace within you. Let's take that power with us as we continue. Because when you stop waiting for them to set you free, you realize you were never truly trapped. You just forgot you had the key all along. Part 5. You deserve a love that doesn't hurt too. Hold after all the unlearning, releasing, and healing. One truth remains. You are worthy of a love that doesn't ask you to suffer. A love that doesn't feel like walking on eggshells. A love that doesn't confuse chaos with passion or silence with punishment. You deserve a love that feels like safety, not survival. One that doesn't keep you guessing, doubting, shrinking, or apologizing for your needs. So many of us grew up believing that love is supposed to hurt. That heartbreak is just part of the deal. But that belief keeps us attached to what breaks us. It keeps us measuring our worth by how much pain we can endure. And it's time to rewrite that script. Real love doesn't leave you in emotional limbo. It doesn't manipulate your hope or punish your vulnerability. Real love speaks clearly, shows up consistently, and meets you in the middle. It celebrates your growth, not fears it. It's the kind of love that says, I see you, I hear you, and I choose you, without conditions, without confusion. And if you haven't experienced that yet, it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means you haven't settled, and that's something to be proud of. I once spoke with a man in his late 30s who said, every time I was honest about my feelings, she pulled away. So I stopped being honest. That's not love. That's emotional training. That's learning to suppress who you are to keep someone else comfortable. And the longer you stay in those patterns, the harder it becomes to believe that real love is possible. But hear this, it is. And it starts with how you love yourself. The way you speak to yourself in the quiet. The way you protect your energy. The way you walk away from anything that demands you abandon yourself. That's the new standard. That's the beginning of a different kind of love story. One where your peace is not the price you pay to be with someone else. The love you deserve won't make you beg. It won't weaponize your loyalty. It will feel like coming home, not like escaping a war zone. And when that love arrives, you won't have to chase it. You'll recognize it by the way you feel safe, even in silence. So if you're still hurting, still healing, still in the in-between, remind yourself of this. Your current pain is not proof that you're unlovable. It's just evidence that you're in the middle of transformation. And when the time comes, your healed heart will attract what your hurting heart could not see. The peace you were looking for was always yours. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause and take a breath. Not just because this journey has been long, but because you're not the same person who started it. Something in you has shifted. You've seen the patterns. You've named the pain. You've learned to let go, not in anger, but in wisdom. And that's powerful. Detachment isn't giving up. It's growing up. It's learning that your heart is too sacred to keep placing it in the hands of someone who doesn't know how to hold it. So from this day forward, you stop waiting for closure, for permission, for validation. You begin writing a new story. One where your worth is not up for negotiation. One where love doesn't hurt to hold. And if no one's told you lately, you are enough. Even when you're alone, especially when you're alone, you are not hard to love. You are learning how to love yourself in ways no one ever taught you. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep choosing yourself. The obsession will pass, the ache will fade, and one day, without warning, you'll wake up and feel light again, not because someone came back, but because you came back to you. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful return of all. If something in this video touched your heart, please like and subscribe to stay connected. This channel isn't just about giving advice. It's about reminding you that love in all its forms is worth fighting for. Whether you're in love, in doubt, or in the middle of rebuilding something fragile, you're not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're here with you, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.